Good morning and welcome to the Antarctic where it is cold. Good morning folks and welcome back to my channel, Alex Does. My name is Alex. Yeah, chilly night last night. You know, it's the second week of spring. I think this happens every year. It's one of those nights where you're still early spring, not far out of winter, where the days are nice and warm, but come night time, winter just says, yeah, no, I'm not finished with you yet. Have a blast of this, get that up ya. And I think last night was possibly the coldest night I've experienced camping here for sure. Oh, probably ever. I don't go to many cold places. I've never been down the snow or anything like that, so yeah, but I've been in colder temperatures. But yeah, last night I don't know what the deal was. Like, under my setup at the moment, it's not the fanciest of setups, but I've got an insulated ground sheet under the tent, and then I've got a foam pad that's got a layer of insulation on it, and then a blow-up mattress that doesn't have any insulation, and then my sleeping bag. I did choose last night to bring the smaller sleeping bag for a couple of different reasons, and yeah, I got in that, and I tried to follow the general rule of to dress down in your sleeping bag so that, you know, your body warmth can heat up the inside of the sleeping bag. But that sleeping bag, I mean, it's supposed, I think it's rated down to about 5 or 8 degrees. I'm not really sure, but I was just getting colder and colder and colder, and I had no choice but then to start layering up. So I started off with getting a, I did bring with me I've got one of those thermal sleeping bag liners. It's supposed to add 10 degrees to your sleeping bag comfortable rating. So I put that on, made no difference. I had no choice but to start getting all the gear on. So I've got socks on, I've got merino long john pants on, I've got a long sleeve merino thermal top with a singlet underneath, and I've got my puffer jacket. So it's a merino top, and I've got a singlet under that, and my mittens, and then my balaclava, and I froze. I think I've probably only got about 2 hours sleep throughout the whole night. I ended up getting up at 4:30. It's about 7:30 now. I got up about 4:30, and fortunately there was still a bit of a glow in the fire. I was able to blow on that and get it going, and I've sat in the fire for the last 3 hours to warm up, and I still don't think I'm 100% warmed up. That's how cold I was during the night. So, you know, camping. I've got some really good news. This is it. This is my good news. And I know this is completely out of context. That is my pee from last night, and I haven't told this story yet. I've told it to a couple of people privately, but not to viewers on camera. I'm really excited to see that, actually. And before you think I'm crazy, which I could have told you beforehand that, yeah, I'm definitely a little bit crazy. So anyway, about a year ago, following a tip, I think from Joe Robinette, from memory, I started taking a bottle into the tent or the hammock, if I'm in the hammock with me, to pee in during the night, because it saves you having to get up, which is always a pain in the backside, having to, you know, put some shoes on or whatever, or throw some clothes on to get up and then walk out of your tent with your torch to wherever you go to pee, to come back again and get it all undone again and get back into bed. You know, you've got a bottle, you can just kind of half roll out of your sleeping bag, flop it out and do what you need to do if you're a guy. Sorry ladies, I don't know how that works if you're a chick, but guy's privilege. Something I didn't really actually discuss the last couple of camps, I had a bit of an issue. So I woke up on a camp I did early August. I woke up in the morning and my pee bottle was basically, the pee in there was the colour of orange juice. You couldn't see through it, and it was frothy. And obviously when you wake up and see that, I was a bit freaked out, and I didn't feel entirely healthy on the second day. So yeah, but by the time I got home, it had all kind of settled down, and I ended up peeing in a bottle at home just to see if it was going to continue, and it cleared pretty much straight away, and there was no issues. So I put it down to dehydration. So when I came back for the next camp, the last camp I did, I drank more water, thinking it was dehydration, and then come morning, it was worse. I'd peed out a greater volume. It was thicker and more like orange juice. And let me just put an image up on the screen. So turn away if you're a bit squeamish, but this is what it looked like. So yeah, this is healthy. That's not healthy. And not only was it like orange juice, it had a white, almost like solid stuff in it that was coagulating over a couple of hours into like ribbons of stuff that have ended up coating the bottle, and they're still there. Here's a picture of the bottle now with the stuff coating the outside of the bottle or the inside of the bottle. Now obviously I'm not a doctor or medically trained. I did a bit of doctor googling, and from what I could deduce, the white stuff is likely to be protein. The color, I can't account for that. So apparently protein should not be coming out of your kidneys. And it was a real concern. Not only that, like after the last camp, I felt bad for about 4 to 5 days before I got over it. I had stomach pains, chest pains, headaches, all sorts of stuff. So as you do, I went to the doctor, and I showed him those pictures of my pee, and he looked quite shocked. But you know, as is the status quo with doctors these days, they just want to get you in and get you out. They don't really give a crap. They're just there you're just a number to them. But he signed me off for some blood tests and a urine test, so I went and got those done. And the results come back clear. There was nothing in my urine. My blood tests were fine, with the exception of high cholesterol. But anyway, so what I did this time, I thought, well, right, what the only thing I did differently last 2 camps compared to previous camps was I drank from a different creek. And so I thought, right, what I'll do, so I'm 100% sure that it's likely the water, is this time I brought water in with me, some Tasmanian spring water, and that's the result. So by deduction, I can only assume that there's a problem with that water, which is a real worry, I think. And it's something to be wary of. What could it be? To me, applying a little bit of uneducated logic, the only thing I can possibly think of, because I've been drinking from the creek over this side for 12 months, no problem. I go down on this creek, and both times I have that problem. Well, 500 metres upstream from where I was getting that water, there's a recent patch of logging that they've done over the last few weeks, last 2 months. And I'm not making any direct accusations. I have no proof of this, but again, applying a little bit of logic, I would assume, because what happens is they do a bunch of logging, and then after a period of time, they come back and they plant it with new trees that they're going to harvest in another 20, 30 years. I'm assuming what happens is after they log, and if someone knows this and can confirm this, please let me know. I think they spray the plot with herbicides and possibly pesticide as well, so that there's no weeds growing in between the time that they log and harvest to when they come back and they plant out some trees. I have been on the New South Wales State Forestry website and had a look at their pesticide and herbicide management plan and all this sort of stuff. The only thing they say on there from memory about notifying the public of the use of pesticides and herbicides is they basically have to put up notice in newspapers and I think at the site for 48 hours. That's it. You know, the shit's going to be leaching into the water for God knows how long. And I think even more worrying as well, or just as worrying, is 400 metres downstream, this creek goes into a national park, Watkins National Park. So if you're in a national park, you're not going to think that the water's going to be tainted. You've got a greater abundance of native, fauna that's drinking from that water. Anyway, that's a whole another issue. It's not something I'm going to pursue. Again, I don't have any proof of this. I'm not making a direct accusation. So maybe I should have been wiser, and it's my own naivety that allowed that to happen. Let's just chalk it up to a life lesson, and that's my tip to you. So if you're staying in a national park, so certainly within New South Wales, I would not recommend drinking the water. Obviously, yes, I do filter the water, but all the filters don't get out chemicals. They only take out, your giardia and all those sorts of bacteria that can cause you stomach aches and all that sort of stuff. It doesn't take out chemicals, and boiling also won't have fixed that problem either. Anyway, I digress. Let's get on with today. We fixed the problem at least. So what am I going to do today? I'm thinking I'm going to do some wattling. I'm really happy with the progress on the fireplace. The way it's burning is so much better now. It still has some more work to do, but I'm going to move on. I really want to see some walls go up, and we'll make some progress on that today. So I'm going to do some wattling, and I'm going to maybe chop some firewood. You know how it goes on my day twos. It's just fairly casual. Because I'm intermittent fasting, there's no cooking or eating today. I think I've got a grapefruit and a handful of almonds. Yeah, that makes for riveting YouTube culinary footage. Anyway, welcome back, and let's crack on with it. Go empty this out. All this vine that's in place is still intact. I had quite a fire roaring in there last night, and even the paracord is still in place, and yes, that's interesting. It definitely won't last long though, because this vine has a tendency to it goes rotten really quick once it's dead. That's why it's no good for construction. It's no good for, I thought about using it for the wattling in the walls because it's so flexible, but yeah, it disintegrates. The clay pit here is starting to get quite deep, as you can see. It's a good, 2.5, 3 foot deep, I suppose. And so what I like to do, take into consideration safety of the natural fauna, because last thing I want to do is turn up the camp here one day and find that something's fallen in there and can't get out. So whenever I'm not using it or I'm not here, I'll just get my log here and chuck it in, and that way if anything falls in, it's got an easy way to get out. Anyway, I'm going to go off for a wander now and see if I can find some sticks for some wattling. One of these days I am going to fall in there, I know that. Well, there we go. What do you reckon, eh? We pushed on and got both of those last wall sections done. I'm really stoked with that. What do you think? So there's me front entryway all done now. Nice. Need a little bit of trimming, of course, on this side, and a door to finish that off, but that again is going to come sometime in the future. It's a nice view looking through that gap back to the fireplace, which is also looking resplendent. Nice. A light filtering of sunlight there. Looks beautiful. Coming along really well. I'm really happy with that wall as well. So that really completes the lower sections of wattling. They're all done now. Nice, ready for mud. We're obviously got to do these up here, but I'll worry about that when the time comes. I think I'd like to get the mud in the walls lower down first, and I'm sure you'd like to see that too. So moving on from here, really, that just leaves us with completing this here. I'm really happy with how that's dried up. It's really nice and solid. A lot of cracks, but you know, as you'd expect, we've talked about that before. So that's still a little bit larger than I want, but I want to build it in once I've chosen a piece of wood to work as a door hatch thing. Yeah, fireplaces worked excellent this stay, so I'm really happy with that. I think next week what I might focus on is probably this, and then maybe filling this gap up to here will be the next step. So there we go. Nice, really happy with that. So anyway, it's nice to have a happy end to the stay, and so I'm going to leave you there. So thank you very much for coming along, as always, to those long-time subscribers and viewers, and also welcome to those new-time viewers and subscribers. If you're not subscribed already and this is the sort of content you'd like to see on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, hit that bell for notification, so you'll get notification when new videos are uploaded, which do generally come out every 8 AM Saturday morning. So yeah, you'd certainly be helping me and helping the channel out. So anyway, my name is Alex, this is Alex Does. Stay around for a snippet of what's coming up next week, and I will see you next week, here, 8 AM next Saturday. Hooroo. Well, it seems I found the limit to my axe. Bugger. Might need to do a field fix.